Hello, everyone. This is Karen Main, and today I will be discussing Chapter 3 of Mass Matters, and it is titled Buying into the Package. This is a very short chapter today, but it has a lot of meat in it because it really begins the whole thought process of why we go to church, how we go to church, with what attitude we go to church. So they give an example of a story that pretty much is the story of the author. But I'm going to use an example from my own personal life because it speaks truer to me. So pick a place or a destination that perhaps you love to do. I know for me, a summer ritual has been for many, many years, 30 plus years, planning, booking a cottage, booking a house, booking a destination in Door County, Wisconsin. Now, along with that, it takes a lot of time and energy, as we all know, to plan a trip, a destination for a day, a week, whatever that may be. So in your own mind, plan and think about the destination of your choice. It takes time. We have to, first of all, pick a time, a date that works into our calendar. We need to set aside either a day, a half a day, a week to 2 weeks to be able to do this. But don't we do this with great energy and great desire? There's something very uplifting to us as we start to make plans, whether we're going to book a stay in one place or several places, what we're going to take with us, what the weather will be, what our wardrobe will be in accordance with that. What type of other things do we want to take with us? Are we looking to relax and to read? Are we going to take some of our hobbies and crafts with us? Are we going to pack some food with us so we have something to eat along the way? Are we going to plan our grocery shopping when we get there? Or will we eat out, and do we have expenses to cover that type of itinerary? So you see where I'm going with this. There is a lot of planning and desire as we go to do that. And then we pack up the car, and I know depending if it's a holiday weekend or where I'm going in Door County, there might be some traffic jams in the local cities. I might not be able to find the parking place that I would like on an off day. So there are some frustrations that go along with that, but in the long run, is it not worth it? Don't we look at all of that as just part of the overall plan that we might run into? So what the author is trying to do for us is to say, why don't we have that same desire when we go to Mass? When we go to that destination or a football game or a baseball game, we don't say, I'm not going to do this because the parking is ridiculous. I probably have to park 3 parking lots away. I probably have to spend a lot of money on food and concessions and then fighting the traffic on the way out of that game is going to be horrendous. So I'm not interested. All of that is just part of the whole experience. And I think what we're trying to do in this chapter is to try to say, why don't we see this as an experience of going to church? We know that on certain Mass times or on certain holy days or holiday Masses, such as Christmas and Easter, the parking lot's going to be jammed. The streets are going to be hard to find a parking spot. All of that goes with it. We probably won't be able to sit in the normal spot that we sit in. But isn't the overall experience of going to Mass in a communal setting with our brothers and sisters worth it? If only we could maintain the same mentality and psychology of doing a destination or a vacation and putting that same mentality into going to church. We know from many people we talk to, and maybe we've experienced it ourselves, that sometimes going to church, we see it more as a duty, or sometimes it's a drag. It's going to, bite into my Sunday or my Saturday, and I might not be able to do all the things maybe I want to do. Well, here again is the communal aspect of setting aside, that time. So it is a worth it part of our lives to set that time away. And we need to set that conscious spiritual time and make it worthwhile. Again, if you give it what you've got and you give it the time it deserves, more will unfold. Being stingy with God is not a good thing. It also, in this chapter, really talks about the mentality of let's just go and get Mass out of the way. And it's really not a priority that I get there on time. It's not a priority that I stay through the final blessing. We see this all the time, and I'm not trying to criticize people that might have a need to leave early. But if leaving early just to get a head start out of the parking lot, or to receive communion and then to go because you have more important things to do on Sunday and you have your obligation fulfilled, well, the book is really saying that's really not good enough. That Mass is not really ended until that final blessing and that final hymn is sung. And it shouldn't be a habit to come late and to leave early. You wouldn't go to your favorite musical and come late and leave early. You wouldn't necessarily go to another event, a dinner, as a dinner guest, and show up late and leave early. You set aside proper time for the proper event. There was a little saying in here, and that was written, and I'm going to share that with you. It was a beautiful little poem that if you don't have the book, you would not see this. And this little poem goes like such. I would like to buy $3 worth of God, please. I would like to buy just a little of the Lord. Not enough to explode my soul or disturb my sleep. Not enough to take control of my life. I'll keep. Just enough to equal a cup of warm milk, just enough to ease some of the pain from my guilt. I would like to buy $3 worth of God, please. I would like to find a love that's pocket-sized. Not enough to make me love my fellow man. Not enough to change my heart. I can only stand. Just enough to take to church when I have time, just enough to equal a snooze in the sunshine. I want ecstasy, not transformation. I want the warmth of the womb, but not a new birth. I would like to purchase a pound of the eternal in a paper sack, guaranteed, or money back. You see, I would like to buy $3 worth of God, please. One other little story that was shared, and it's, really kind of putting to forefront the nature of why we go to church, and are we really engaged in church, or are we sort of just mind wandering, going through things, but not really in tune with liturgy and all that it has to offer? So there's a couple walking out of church, and the wife asked her husband, "Did you see the strange hat Mrs. O'Brien was wearing?" "No," said the husband. "And did you notice those poorly dressed children in the pew ahead of us?" "No, I didn't," replied the husband. "Mr. Smith badly needed a haircut, doesn't he?" commented the wife. "Sorry, but I didn't notice," was the husband's response. Said the wife impatiently, "sometimes I wonder if you get anything at all out of going to church." So here are some thoughts that I leave you with today's shorter podcast. Number 1, what is your attitude on going to church? Is your attitude one of anticipation, duty, dread, or other? Do you regularly come late or leave early? And if so, why? So again, this is just setting us up for some mentality about why we go to church and with what attitude we perceive this. And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could all come to church as a community that's anticipating what's about to happen, that's anticipating sitting next to your brothers and sisters in Christ and having this wonderful celebration of Thanksgiving before us. We live in a country that we're free to do this. We are in a country that we can receive the Eucharist openly without being persecuted. We have the ability to really come forward to Mass in a pure and holy heart. So I leave you today with, why do you come to Mass? Thank you for your time. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.